Yeah, guys. Obviously, an extremely disappointing night. We came in with a plan on how we felt we could win this game, and we really didn't accomplish any of those goals. We obviously lost the turnover battle, which was number one. Number two, we really felt like we had to have a fast start to the game because that's something they had done very, very well. And then the last thing was win the line of scrimmage. We didn't do that on either side of the football. So that was kind of our formula for success. We didn't attain that, coaches or players, so naturally very disappointed in the overall result. Certainly not what I expected in the least. But we had a lot of self-inflicted wounds there in the first half. And for 2 weeks in a row, we only had 14 or 15 plays again in the first half and dug ourselves a hole and couldn't get off the field defensively and couldn't convert and continue sustained success on offense. So, we certainly played a little bit better in the second half. But listen, if you can't, obviously you come away with no points, you have a zero chance to win the game. So, overall, like I said, just a disappointing day. We got to look to rebound. We got a short week here, so it's going to happen. It's going to come quick, like I just said to the team. So we got to make sure we lock back in and get ready to go. So.
This is the first time since you become head coach that the team just wasn't competitive on either side of the ball. Kind of what you touched on, but what would you attribute that to? Do you feel like they came out flat in this game?
No, I think we did it to ourselves in a lot of ways. I mean, listen, we had them in third and medium, third and long two different times in the first quarter and jumped off sides on both of them to give them a third and short situation. Our goal was to get these guys into some third and longs. That's something they hadn't done a great job of. And when we did get them finally into those situations, we didn't. And then offensively, obviously we turned the ball over twice. Again, we had some self-inflicted. We jumped off sides a couple times. And so just, a lot of it we did to ourselves. So there were some spurts, where there were short spurts, unfortunately, where we did some good things, but just overall not good enough. So, listen, I'm still very, very proud of our effort. It wasn't a competitive game, but certainly not by the score whatsoever, but I didn't see a lack of effort or anything like that on the field.
Darren, was Eric pulled just because the game was starting to get away a little bit, or was he?
He tried to come back and play, and it just felt like he wasn't going to be able to function like he normally functions. So that's why it had nothing to do with the score. It was it doesn't matter what the score was, he was going to come out. Just he tried to come back, and it just wasn't feeling full strength in that arm. So. Listen, there were some good moments, but just overall, I mean, we can't turn the ball over, like I said. You saw some flash plays. I thought he made a couple of really good plays, but then we made a couple of really bad decisions. But like I said, we didn't help him much. So I think it was an overall team situation. We dropped some passes. We dropped some balls on him, which could have helped us. And made the overall product look a lot better, and maybe make his performance look better. I'll have to watch the film and really reevaluate it. But we missed some pass protections in the first half. The fumble in the first half, we blew a pass protection, so a guy comes free, and the whole play gets kind of blown up, and we make it worse by turning it over. So. It certainly wasn't all on him.
Riz, that at the end of the first half, that 3rd and 6, did you guys think that fumble out of bounds, like 31 seconds came off the clock?
Yeah, what happened there, Nick, was when the play. If you go back and watch the play, both covering officials, ruled the ball. The clock stopped. I had asked the covering official, if the clock was going to remain stopped. I got a yes, and I turned back to talk to the offensive coaches and kind of talk about our plan there. And what we were going to do there, at the end of the half, and then, they decided that he fumbled the ball forward, and it just wasn't communicated to me that the clock had restarted. So we lost some precious, valuable time there. So that's what happened.
Darren, when you're missing as much as you are offensively, do you need the defense to carry you in that type of game? And was the tackling and all that stuff defensively good enough?
Well, I would say this. I mean, I would say it doesn't matter who's playing. We have to do a better job stopping the run. I mean, naturally, I think we gave up 190 yards rushing on 5.5 yards a carry. So, regardless of who's playing on offense and regardless of who's out, that's just not good enough. We dressed the 48 guys that we dressed. We're not going to make excuses. You guys know me well enough by now that not going to make excuses about that. We didn't perform well enough. So, as I just said to the players, we can allow the excuses to creep in, and we all know the guys we're missing. I got it. But, we had 48 professional football players out there today just like they did, and they didn't play very well. So, and we didn't coach very well, and the whole thing wasn't very good.
I know, no excuses, but when you go back the next day and watch Spencer, how do you account for all the guys who were missing and all?
Well, listen, certainly if there's different pieces out there, the game might look a little bit different. Naturally, I understand the question. At the same time, we'll evaluate that. So if there's balls that we felt like should have been caught, or there's protections that should have been had, things like that, that's not going to be on the quarterback. So like I said, it's not all encompassing. Sometimes that certainly can be skewed. I thought he had a couple of good passes, but he also made a couple of poor decisions. So. That those will get evaluated each play on its individual basis.
And what was up with Kendrick Miller tonight? His snaps were.
Well, I think the way the game played out, we dug such a hole. I think we had a plan for Kendrick coming in, and we got into a lot of a 2-minute drill and things like that. And so I think that's why you saw more of Jordan Mims there, because of just the way the game played out. We got out of a lot of regular down and distance situations. Once we got into a 3-score situation, we had to be in a little bit of a 2-minute mode, and so that's why you saw all those guys get reps there. Jordan, Jamal, and Kendrick.
Is there something about Kendrick that isn't ready for 2 minutes?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying our game plan for this particular game didn't play out the way we wanted it to.
Did you feel like y'all are physical enough, or is that part of what happened today?
Well, I think some of the old, defensively, I think some of the old problems that we had maybe earlier in the middle of the season kind of crept back. We had done a really good job, on run defense in the last couple of games, particularly versus the Giants and the Commanders. But these are some of the things we saw prior to that game. Some of the runs, some of the missed tackles, some of the yards after contact. Listen, Josh Jacobs is a phenomenal player. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's one of the best guys in the league at yards after contact. But overall, their entire rushing performance is not a good formula for success for us. Anytime a team rushes the ball 37 times and has a 5.5 yards a carry, like I said, doesn't really matter who's on the other side of the ball. That's not going to be a good formula. So we got to find a way to get that corrected.
You said felt like the effort was good, but you guys were eliminated from the playoffs yesterday. Sounds about that crept in at all?
Yeah, I've never felt like since the day I took over, we were on a 7-game losing streak. It would have been easy for a lot of a lot of players and veteran guys especially to kind of check out. And I've never ever felt that. I didn't feel that today. I thought, to be honest with you, I had a great prep week. We had a great walkthrough last night. I felt like we were locked in. We just didn't perform well. I mean, let's just sometimes in this league that's going to happen. We didn't have a very good performance. But I never felt like our guys are looking down the road and not giving effort because of our playoff status. I never felt like that one time during this time I've taken over. I didn't feel like that tonight. I feel like we got out coached and out executed. I mean, it's the way it is.
How do you kind of regroup the last 2 weeks with no playoffs and coming off a performance like this?
Yeah, we got to go. This counts for one loss. That's what it counts for. So we got to go back to doing the things we've been doing well this last month or so, and understand that's how we're going to climb back and come back and try to get a win this week. Listen, we got a lot of younger players playing right now. That's no secret. So there's to be able to evaluate a lot of those guys from the quarterback right on through all the rest of the positions. So there's a lot of guys. There's guys out there. There's a lot of guys that are playing for something. But like I said, I have not witnessed one time. We've made plenty of mistakes, but effort wasn't one of them. So I've never felt like that. So I wouldn't, in my mind, that wouldn't be any different than this coming week.
Was there any progress with Derek Stan the last couple of days, or is it still kind of simplistic?
Yeah, there was. He actually had he's starting to get some grip strength back and some functionality back in the hand. It just wasn't good enough again for this week. We're gonna the players' day off this week is gonna be Christmas Day. They'll be in shortly tomorrow, and then Christmas Day will be the day off, and then we'll resume practice again Thursday. So hopefully with a couple more days here, we can kind of see where he's at. But there was an improvement this week. It certainly was a better week than than the previous one. So we'll kind of play it and see where he is come Thursday.
What happened with Nathan Shepard before the game?
So he had a very unique situation. We were at the hotel about to leave to come over here, and he was dealing with something with his eye. And he got down here and was able to see the doctors and the trainers, and it was just a situation where he just wasn't able. He had some pain in his eye and some function, and he really couldn't wear his contacts. He couldn't really see very well, and so we made the decision. It was a last minute thing. I just found out literally about it as we were getting on the buses to come down here. So just an unfortunate situation. So we made a decision because we had a couple of defensive tackles that were going to be inactive anyway, and so we made the decision just to activate somebody else because he wasn't going to be full go. So he was having some problems seeing, and he had some pain in his eye. So
Is that anything that could linger into next?
it doesn't. I was told by the medical staff that it should be short term, but it just was unfortunate. Certainly unfortunate timing for tonight. So.
And MVS, was it more about the illness or the?
It was really more about the injury. The illness definitely prohibited him from the rehab process, and definitely prohibited him from the practicing. And so just with the whole equation there, just felt like it was in his best interest, not to play tonight because he missed a lot of practice time because of both. So. Okay, appreciate it, guys.